Well, we welcome you back to Melbourne Ballpark as the lights have come back on somewhat. We're joined by a special guest in the booth, former big leaguer and World Series champion Jeremy Guthrie. Good to have you on board.
Yeah, very nice to be here, guys.
I think it's only been a couple of days, maybe only a matter of hours that you've been in Australia. I mean, this must be a whirlwind from going to landing to pitching. Just take us through it.
Yeah, fortunately we travel quite a bit, so the family and I are accustomed to long trips. We got in yesterday at 8:30 a.m. from LAX and went and pet some koala bears, and today we did some tree surfing, and now we're pitching in the All-Star game. So it's been a very eventful 36 hours.
Oh, that's wonderful to have you here. So since the season, how's your preparation been?
I finished my minor league season in end of July, so I took about a month and a half off, and then I began throwing again. And at that point in time, I had communication with Jackson Brett here in Deebs for the Aces, and they talked about the opportunity to come here and pitch. And so I've really been training since the middle of October, I'd say, in preparation. And then they were able to finalize everything, a couple of weeks ago. And so I knew I was going to be coming.
Well, and the first thing we noticed when we got out and saw you in the mound earlier tonight, you haven't lost any velocity.
Well, I'm trying not to. I feel strong, and that's part of why, I wanted to come here and pitch.
Right.
Is I'm working on a couple mechanical things that I've been working on with a pitching coach back in the United States. And I feel healthy and strong, and so with those two things, you always feel like you have a chance. That competitive juice inside of each one of us, makes me want to get back out here, and I hope to, hope in the next 3 outings here for the Aces that I can work on things and feel like I'm in a position where I can compete for a job to pitch in 2017.
Yeah, well, you definitely looked fantastic tonight. You had, 5 pitches, 5 strikes. The inning was over before you could really even settle in, I guess, isn't it? What are you going to be looking for, like pitch count wise, innings?
That'll be interesting. In my training, I've really only got up and down twice. So I'll throw to the catcher, throw 20 pitches, have him sit down, take a 5-minute break, and get up and throw 20 more pitches. So I feel like I can probably throw 65 to 70, right now. And then I think in 3 starts I could be, right near 100 if they needed me to do that. So. I've always been strong and been able to bounce back, and I think with that, my arm will build up very quickly.
See the players starting to run back out onto the field. And what's the goal for Jeremy Guthrie? I know obviously you've talked ad nauseum about how you like to travel, and if you're able to travel and play baseball at the same time, it's the best of both worlds. But coming back into it, getting back into pitching, obviously you'd like to pitch in the big leagues again. What's next in terms of baseball for you after the stint in the ABL? Speaking
with my agent, we decided that we will approach teams with the idea of me pitching in the bullpen, which is something I've never really advertised. I've done it before, of course. Most pitchers get their chance to come into the major leagues as a bullpen pitcher, regardless of whether they are a starter or not. So I've done it in the past, but I would like to focus on it and see if that gives me more opportunity. I feel like maybe at my age they'll see me as a viable option in the bullpen, whereas a starter, I think a lot of the teams feel like younger players are a better fit for their ball club. So the goal is to get back in the big leagues. The avenue is by improving my pitches and making a switch into the bullpen.
Well, we're certainly glad you're here in Australia. We wish we would have gotten to see more of you. It was only 5 pitches in the first inning, but glad to have you here. Great work, and we look forward to seeing more of you.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
A bearded Jeremy Guthrie in the booth with us. Again, a World Series champion back in 2015. Pitched games 1 and 5 of that 2015 World Series with the Kansas City Royals. And nice of him to trek on up to the booth and join us for a couple of minutes as we